Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to attend this workshop. Today we're going to be addressing how to access all the parent resources that we have available for you throughout the school district and your individual high schools. We want to help you guys get a great foundation as you get started, so you know you can have all of these tools to help you. So first I want to talk a little bit about some numbers to save. As we are talking to parents throughout the district, I didn't put out all the individual numbers for each high school. However, as you go in to talk to your counselors and set up initial meetings here at the beginning of the school year, make sure to get the number for the attendance office and for the school counseling office. Also, we're going to talk about text messaging alerts here in a little bit. That attendance office, they will send you text messages when your child is tardy to a class, if they're absent from a class, in real time when it's happening. So you can always call into the school and excuse them, or call and find out, hey, what's going on here. The counseling office, you can talk about setting up appointments with them, find out what's the best way to communicate with them. Many of them enjoy email. Let me show you here that in just a second. Here's an example of what I was talking about. This is for the Hillcrest High School Counseling Department. As you go in on that website, it'll list all of the school counselors. Miss Jo is the counseling secretary. Normally, if you call into the office, she would be the one to help you make an appointment and get you to where you needed to go. Right over here, you can see how they divide up the counselors. Some schools do it one counselor for the freshman class, one for the sophomore, junior, senior, etc. You can see here that they do, this counselor handles students with the last names A through G, H through O, P through Z, everything like that. And then we have two counselors that are specifically designated for college and career advising, helping for school applications and planning for plans after high school. So as you can see, the little button underneath each one says send email. It'll open up right through your email app on your computer or your phone and send them an email. So that's a super easy way to get in touch with them. I know lots of them are on the computer and respond really easily to that. Okay, so as you set up your first meeting with your school counselor, if you haven't already, or if you want to continue that dialogue from your first meeting, here are just some suggestions of questions you can ask. Things like, what are the requirements for graduation, which I'm going to touch on here in a minute. What classes does my child have to take? What is required? And what classes do they get to choose? What can you see regarding your child's school schedule online? What's the best way to communicate with the school counselor? What's considered a passing grade in a class? What happens if they need to retake a class? These are just some suggestions to get you started. However, I want you to consider your child and their situations, their unique challenges, and address those with the counselor. Obviously, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, but we do want to help you address some of those concerns so that you can be most successful. Here's some graduation requirements I just want to go over real quick with you. You can go to nextsteps.idaho.gov to see the full requirements. That's where this snapshot is from. However, your school counselor can also give you a paper copy of this. So as you see here, they break it down. There's 46 credits required to graduate. 29 of those come from core subjects, math, science, English, things like that. And then 17 credits are electives. So then it breaks it down a little bit further. Language arts, English, and a speech credit. So 8 credits of English means that we're going to take 2 credits of English all 4 years, and then a speech whenever you want to fit that in. Math credits are required 6 credits, including certain classes, but then it also stipulates that 2 of those credits have to be taken the last year of high school. So you can't bulk them all up at the beginning. You still have to take some your senior year, mostly because it helps when you're applying for colleges to show how you're performing in your math classes. Next, you're required 6 credits of science, which can include biology, chemistry, earth space, environmental, etc. science. Then we look at social studies. It involves U.S. history, economics, American government. However, it does say that geography, sociology, psychology, world history may not count towards that requirement. They might be considered electives. And then you were looking at humanities. Just 2 credits are required. That can include visual arts, like a film class, music, band or an orchestra, choir, theater, dance, and a foreign language. So 2 of those are required. However, many of those would also fit down into your electives, those 17 electives that students get to choose. And then we are required 1 credit of a health course that you can take whenever. However, it is very effective to take it beginning of your freshman year. That's when it's recommended in the schedule. But again, you can look at all the options that work best for you. Also, in most of these subjects, social studies, math, science, English, there are advanced opportunities, such as dual credit, advanced placement. If that's something your student or you are interested in, please reach out to your counselor, and they'll be happy to explain all those options to you. Next, I wanted to show you how to access some parent resources on the school websites. So if you go on to all of the websites for each of the high schools, I just took a snapshot of a couple of them. The heading is pretty much the same for all of the high schools, trying to make it pretty uniform, pretty easy to find. So you can see here at the top where it says Parents, Parents, For Parents, which has a drop-down menu. The one here at the bottom, that's for the school district. And when you do the drop-down menu for the parents, it is quite a little bit bigger, has some more resources, so let me show you that. Here's one of the school websites, the For Parents drop-down menu. We're going to come back to PowerSchool, spend a little bit more time there, registration. But here on the school website, you can see it has calendars, forms, registration forms, school schedules for the entire year, online payments, a lot more in-depth information. So if you're looking for something for the school district, you can't find it on your website, I would go ahead and check the district website. It's a good idea to go ahead and save, bookmark on your computer, on your phone, both your high school website and the district website. On the district website, it'll have something underneath parents called the Parent Gateway. This is just a snapshot of some of the resources, not a full list of resources that are available just for you. So PowerSchool, like I said, we're going to take a look at in just a minute in more depth, but you can have access to your child's school schedule, their grades, their attendance, all of that in real time. And then there's some resources for math practice, for some English support, for understanding the Common Core standards, the standardized testing, preparing for the SAT, and then there's other resources if you need more tutoring or resources for your student. We also have those available through each high school. Now let's go ahead and take a look at PowerSchool, which will probably be your main resource in being connected into how your child is doing day to day in their classes. So here's the parent sign-in. When you click on that link for PowerSchool, go ahead and click the parent sign-in. It'll bring you to this page. If you haven't already created a user ID, you can create the account here at that link down at the bottom. Otherwise, you'll have your PowerSchool ID and password. And once you sign in, it'll bring you to a screen that looks like over here on the left, this first screen. Kind of a main screen. It'll have little blocks for each of their classes that they're taking. Along the top, you can see their GPA, a balance on their meal card, any fees that are owed. Down here at the bottom, it shows the dashboard, which is where we're at, their classes, a calendar, schedule. When you click the More button, it'll give you a couple more options for things in depth. School will give you some options of contacting school, things like that. Help and About can give you more resources to help you find what you're looking for. And then finally, when you click on one of these classes, it's going to open up here on the right-hand side. Here's the history class. It shows the teacher right there at the top, the period, the room number, and this little envelope here at the right. You can click on that, and it will email directly to the teacher. So you can have that communication directly through the portal. And then it'll show their grades, their absences, citizenship, all their assignments, so you can see what's missing, what grades they got on each of those. Their attendance, it'll break down when they were absent, when they were tardy, everything like that. So now we're going to break off in groups. I want to make sure everyone can log in, and we can get you assistance if you need help with that. And then we'll come back and make sure everyone's comfortable navigating around the portal. Thanks, guys.